Finally, we're going to have a look at meaning. So what could the speaker mean by spiritual? One response to this is that they don't mean anything at all. So let's have a look at David Hume in response to this. David Hume was a Scottish philosopher in the 18th century, extremely important in the development of Western philosophy. He believed that the self is a fluid thing, the product of our perceptions and experiences, and that religious beliefs are based on your experiences in life, your emotions, your passions, not on rational facts that you can observe in the world. And here is a text from one of his very famous treatises, specifically dealing with religion and religious experience. A good quote here is that he said, "Eloquence, when at its highest pitch, leaves little room for reason or reflection. It speaks only to imagination or feelings, or captivates the willing hearers and subdues their understanding." Here he's talking in the context of religion and miracle stories. And what he's saying is that religious belief, spiritual belief, any kind of belief in that which is not empirical, observable within the world, is a kind of emotional response. It's to do with the emotions of the person who made it up and the emotions of the person who submits to it. Now, also going on to Wittgenstein. Wittgenstein, somebody that we're going to look at in a lot more depth in later videos. There were two Wittgensteins, the younger version of himself and the older version of himself. The younger version was very radical in saying that religious language, spiritual talk, has no meaning whatsoever. So, how can language have meaning, was his question. Language gets its meaning through descriptions of reality, i.e. concrete states of affairs within the world. And famously, he said, "Whereof one cannot speak, thereof one must remain silent." So essentially, he was saying that spirituality doesn't mean anything. It just means whatever the person is feeling. And so if you're going to take this kind of approach to the question, you might say, what could the speaker mean by spiritual? They mean absolutely nothing. They're just talking about their own feelings. So moving on. Wittgenstein was writing and an inspiration for a group of people called the Vienna Circle, who in Western philosophy are called logical positivists. And again, looking at these guys, this is following on from that kind of approach to the question, rejecting that the speaker could mean anything when they say spiritual. Logical positivists believe that there are two kinds of statement: analytic, i.e. true by definition, so triangles have three sides, or synthetic, proven a posteriori. So a synthetic statement can be either true or false, and you prove it through empirical means. For example, my black shoes are on fire. The way to prove that is to observe them and see whether or not they're actually on fire.